Rhetoric falls into three divisions, determined by the three classes of listeners to speeches. Four of the three elements in speech-making speaker, subject and person addressed. It is the last one, the hearer, that determines the speeches and other object. The hearer must be either a judge with a decision to make about things past or future, or an observer. A member of the assembly decides about future events, a juryman about past events, while those who merely decide on the orator's skill and observers. From this it follows that there are three divisions of oratory: political, forensic, and ceremonial oratory of display. Political speaking urges us either to do or not to do something. One of these two courses is always taken by private counselors, as well as by men who address public assemblies. Forensic speaking either attacks or defends somebody. One or other of these two things must always be done by the parties in a case. The ceremonial oratory of display either praises or censures somebody. These three kinds of rhetoric refer to three different kinds of time. The political orator is concerned with the future. It is about things to be done hereafter that he advises for or against. The party in a case at law is concerned with the past. One man accuses the other, and the other defends himself, with reference to things already done. The ceremonial orator is, properly speaking, concerned with the present, since all men praise or blame in view of the state of things existing at all time, though they often find it useful to recall the past and make guesses at the future. Rhetoric has three distinct views end in view, one for each of its three kinds. The political orator aims at establishing the expediency or the harmfulness of a proposed course of action. If he urges its acceptance, he does so on the ground that it will do good. If he urges its rejection, he does so on the ground that it will do harm, and all other points, such as whether the proposal is just or unjust, honorable or dishonorable, he brings in as subsidiary and relative to this main consideration. Parties in a law case aim at establishing the justice or injustice of some action, and they too, in all other points, are subsidiary and relative to this one. Those who praise or attack a man aim at proving him worthy of honor of the reverse, and they too treat all other considerations with reference to this one. That the three kinds of rhetoric do aim respectively at the three ends we have mentioned is shown by the fact that the speaker will sometimes not try to establish anything else. Thus the litigant will sometimes not deny that a thing has happened or that he has done harm, but that he is guilty of injustice he will never admit. Otherwise, there would be no need of a trial. So to political orators often may any concession, short of admitting that they are recommending their hearers to take an inexpedient course or not to take an expedient course. The question whether it is not unjust for a city to enslave its innocent neighbors often does not trouble them at all. In like manner, those who praise or censure a man do not consider whether his acts have been expedient or not, but often make it a ground of actual praise that he has neglected his own interest to do what was honorable. Thus they praise Achilles because he championed his fallen friend Patroclus, though he knew that this meant death, and that otherwise he need not die. Yet while to die thus was the nobler thing for him to do, the expedient thing was to live on. It is evident what has been said, that it is these three subjects, more than any others, about which the orator must be able to have propositions at his command. Now the propositions of rhetoric are complete proofs probabilities and signs. Every kind of syllogism is composed of propositions, and the enthymeme is a particular kind of syllogism composed of the aforesaid propositions. Since only possible actions are not impossible ones, can ever have been done in the past or the present, and since things will have not occurred or will not occur, also cannot have been done or be going to be done, it is necessary for the political, the forensic, and the ceremonial speakers to alike to be able to have all their command propositions about the possible and the impossible, and about whether a thing has or not occurred, will or will not occur. Further, all men, in giving praise or blame, in urging us to accept or reject proposals for action, in accusing others or defending themselves, attempt not only to prove the points mentioned, but also to show that the good or the harm, the honor or disgrace, the justice or injustice, it is plain that we must also have at our command propositions about greatness or smallness, and the greater or the lesser propositions, both universal and particular. Thus we must be able to say which is the greater or lesser good, the greater or lesser act of justice or injustice, and so on. Such, then, are the subjects regarding which we are inevitably bound to master propositions relevant to them. We must now discuss each particular class of these subjects in turn, namely those dealt with in political, in ceremonial, and last in legal oratory.